What's up, game players? How are you guys doing? I want to welcome you guys to the Analog Circle Podcast, episode number 82. Happy pre-E3 week. Oh, it's about to be an amazing time in gaming. By the way, before we even get into all of those details about E3 and what I'm expecting and hoping in this gaming news that has come out for the week, this kinda light, I must say. The topics that we're gonna go over, most of them are light with maybe a few here and there that are kinda good stories. So before we get into all of that though, if you want to reach out to the show, you can do that two different ways, and you can do that by either calling in on the hotline at 443-216-9934 to let your voice be heard, and it will be played on the next episode of the podcast, or you can opt to email the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Now, I got to tell you guys, it has been quite some time that I have been away. Let me tell you, man, the job continues to put the pressure on your guy to be there. So, podcasting is just taking a back seat, but I love doing it so much. Hopefully, you guys were able to check out the interview that I had with Mr. Richard Rouse, who really went into some great detail about his time in the industry. It was a fantastic interview, and if you guys are interested, it'll be the episode right before this one. So anyway, I want to just get into, since it's been so long since I've been on here, guys, I want to let you guys know what I've been playing. I'm only going to stick with that for maybe 2 minutes or so, but I have definitely beaten, since the time I had done the podcast, that's how long it's been, I've actually beaten the Order 1886. And I must say, man, listen, I know the game got a lot of hate. I know a lot of people said it wasn't a great game. It was too many cinematics. It wasn't enough gameplay. I mean, the list of things could go on and on about what people didn't like about the game. But I have to say, man, personally for me, I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was absolutely an amazing ride. I actually recorded the ending. I recorded my gameplay up on YouTube. Go ahead and check it out. Subscribe over there at the Analog Circle on YouTube. But I thought the game was a solid 8 out of 10. I can't understand why it got so much of the hate. And I know at this point, it's a very, very old game. It's over 2 years old. Might be 3 years at this point. But you want to talk about an amazing looking game. Game was absolutely gorgeous to look at. You hear me? I mean, it was absolutely amazing. The gameplay was very solid. The story, it was a really, really good story. At least I would say it was a very interesting to good story. I'm not going to say it was great, but you could have built a lot off of that story that was already there. So I would really, really love it if Sony greenlit a sequel to The Order. Make it 1887 or whatever, because the way the game ends, and no spoilers, the way it ends, it makes you say, dang, I really, really want to know where this is going to go. So, I mean, excellent game. I only paid, what was it, $5 for it. And I must say that did not skew my opinion on the game. I thought it was just a solid game. I would have paid $60 for the game. Some people may not agree, but that's my preference. But outside of the Order 1886, I've played Detroit Become Human. Another one. Simulator Khaled, another one. I have enjoyed this game. It's been great. Now, I do want to preference this by saying that it has just been the demo. I haven't picked up the full game yet. But the demo, I love these kinds of games. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, you guys know that I thought Heavy Rain was amazing for the time. Excellent game. Had its set of problems with the voice acting not being so great. But outside of that, I definitely enjoyed the story. I thought it was fantastic. And Detroit Become Human is not letting me down, at least from what I have played and from what I have read and looked at on YouTube as far as reviews go. The game has been said to be the best work that Quantic Dreams has done to date. So that says a lot. I know that Beyond Two Souls, it kind of fell a little flat for some people. Heavy Rain didn't do it for everybody. Some people loved it, some people didn't, but it looks like Detroit Become Human has finally made that balance where it seems like most people actually like the game a lot, if that's the kind of genre that you're into. So, I mean, from what I played of the demo, oh man, I can't wait to pick this up this weekend. Probably not gonna play it because we know what's going down this weekend. E3 all day, baby. So, I mean, I'm going to pick it up and we'll see what happens. But I also, you guys know I had to do this. Had to do this one, brother. I have been playing God of War. Oh, man. Let me tell you something, brother. When you read about a game getting 9s and 10s and game of the generation and greatest game ever and all of this hype behind it, most of the time it falls a little flat of your expectations because so many people have boasted it up to be this amazing experience. And it's like, yeah, it is great, but I don't know if I agree with it being amazing. I have to say, man, and my stomach just growled. Sorry about that. I have to say, God of War has been phenomenal. I mean, it is no other word to describe how well this game has been. It has been absolutely phenomenal. It has lived up to all of the praise that it's gotten. You know, the 9s and the 10s. I'm not finished the game yet. It's a very lengthy game, which I'm happy about. It has just been a heck of a roller coaster ride. The way the game sucks you in, and no spoilers if some of you guys haven't played it yet, but the way the game sucks you in from the first scene, I mean the very first scene when the game boots up, it's like go mode. It absolutely sucks you into this amazing, beautiful looking world that's full of these lush colors, graphical details that, my goodness, I just wouldn't have imagined that the PlayStation 4, now keep in mind, I'm playing it on the vanilla version. This is not the Pro. The vanilla version of God of War on the PS4 holds up incredible. It is an amazing looking game to look at. And the gameplay goes along with it and makes it just as great as it looks. The story is really well so far. It's going well. Not amazing yet, but I'm only 4 hours in and things are starting to heat up. So I'm starting to really get into the rhythm of the combat, of the characters, the banter between Kratos and Atreus. It's really starting to heat up, and I am thoroughly enjoying the game. It's been amazing. But those have been the 3 main games I've been playing, and you might say to yourself, dag, I have seen a pattern here, Kiaun. It looks like everything is being played on the PlayStation 4. Where is the Xbox One love? We're going to get into that in a little bit, but anyway. Let's go ahead, guys. I've already rambled on long enough, but let's go ahead and let's get into the gaming news, my friends, my gamers that went down. Now, let's start off, like I said, very light. We're going to start off light. Now, Sony has come out already and said that they would be showing off 3 games before E3 officially starts. Now, the first game they revealed, it's not that great, but it's interesting to me, and I'll get into why I think that is. But the first game is Tetris Effect, which is coming to both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 VR this fall. Now, the game is being designed by Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who actually is the guy who's behind Luminous and Res Infinite. Now, as far as the features of the game, it will have more than 30 stages to play, and the game will offer 4K resolution on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and once again, have VR capabilities with PlayStation VR. Now, it will also include a variety of new game modes. Now, I have to say, the thing that makes me so interested in this game is that Tetsuya, I always say their names wrong, and my apologies, man. Mizuguchi, who, is behind Res Infinite. If you guys have ever played a Res game, the game is very, very trippy. I mean, it's a whole lot of bright colors, a whole lot of flashing lights, just, man, a whole lot of craziness is going on. It's almost, I guess, like you're on an acid trip almost. My thing is, I'm trying to imagine what a Tetris game would look like in VR with this same guy that has been behind Res, with all of the bright lights, all of the, dropping of the blocks and explosions coming into the front of the, lid of the VR screen. It could be very, very interesting. You guys know that I'm a big fan of the VR, the PlayStation VR. I think it's a great peripheral. It's down to $200, and I'm getting ready to push the button on it because it is at that price point where, in my opinion, it's consumer friendly. I would say that it would have been worth the $400, or did it come out at $500? I forget, but it would have been worth it to pay full price for it. To me, at launch, but who doesn't want a better deal? So I'm about to push the button on that. I think this could be very interesting, but by no means is it a game that I would say I'm hyped up and pumped up about by a long shot. But moving on from this into some Microsoft news. Now, if you have been interested, this is actually pretty cool news. If you've ever been interested in picking up an Xbox One console, Microsoft is putting their consoles on sale beginning today, which is June 7th, for the celebration of E3 week. Now, the Xbox One S with 500 gigabytes, that model, it'll sell for $199. Now, the 1 terabyte Xbox One S will be selling for $249.99, and the Xbox One X will be selling for $449.99. Now, they will also be, on top of their systems being on sale, they're also going to be having a sale on over 300 titles. And I must say, I've already checked out some of these, and I just picked up Assassin's Creed Origins for $30. $30. I couldn't help myself. On top of that, they also had deals on NBA 2K18, which was $20, and Battlefront, shockingly selling for a low amount of $20. So they definitely have some very good deals over there in the Microsoft store. I think you guys should definitely check it out if you're not aware. I'm pretty sure that everybody will be able to find something that they're interested in, and they have a ton of Xbox 360 games on sale as well. So go over there and do your due diligence and pick up a couple games, 50 to 70% off. Rock out, God dog it. Moving on into some Days Gone news. Now, this is actually good news. I mean, we know that if you've been following the industry and following Days Gone, it didn't get the warmest reception when it was revealed by Game Informer. Me, myself, it still looked very interesting to me. I'm still excited about it. I do believe that Sony did put a little bit of their Sony magic behind it during the E3 demo, because I did not see swarms of, what do they call the zombies in this game? Berserkers or something like that. Nobody ever wants to call their zombies in the game. I don't get it. But it was at no point that I see that level of zombies running towards the main protagonist. So they might have put a little bit of fluff on that, but I thought overall the game looked good. It looks solid. It's a game I'll definitely pick up, a game I'm definitely looking forward to, but we know that it was delayed. out of this year, because in my opinion, I think Sony just has an amazing lineup this year of games that they could have pushed it into the following year. And, pre E3, like Sony has been doing, they've been giving us little gems and nuggets on the lead up to the big stage, to the big show. They've actually come out and said that Days Gone will be releasing on February 22nd, 2019, which I think is a fantastic time to release this game because the holiday rush is over. Red Dead is out there. Call of Duty is out there. Tomb Raider is out there. All of these big AAA games are out there in the wild. Everybody's out. Now you got room to breathe. It's after the holidays. February is usually a dead month unless you want to go way back and think about Mass Effect. I believe that released in February, which worked out very well for the franchise. So I think that this is a really good strategic move on Sony's part to definitely give the game room to breathe and be able to get out of the thumb of all of these bigger titles. So, Sony, they would have been in competition with themselves. I got to tell you, God of War came out this year. Detroit Become Human came out, and Spider-Man is on its way out later on this year in September 7th. So if they were trying to release this game in the fall, it would have got murked. It's no doubt about it. So I think this is a great move. And, I'm really looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be great. Moving on to some more Sony news. Now, similar to Microsoft, Sony is also having their share of gaming deals as well. Now, they're going to have on sale. Now, I meant to also tell you guys, as far as the Xbox sale goes, that's going to be going for 11 days. So you guys have until, the 18th, 17th or 18th to get, as many games as you can. But moving back into Sony, the games that they're going to have on sale, and theirs also starts, let me see, E3, I believe it's the 8th. I went on there today. I didn't see these pop yet, but they are saying that God of War is going to be $50. Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be selling for $20, and Shadow of the Colossus is going to be selling for $20. Now, I have all three of these games, and god dang, like I said, I even forgot Shadow of the Colossus came out this year as well. Sony has just been on a tear, but let me just go ahead and move on from there. Now, as far as the hardware goes, similar to Xbox, they also are having a hardware sale, and they'll be selling a limited edition Days of Play Blue PlayStation 4. It's going to be $299. They're going to be selling the PlayStation 4 Pro for $349.99. And if you're like myself and you're thinking about getting into the PlayStation VR, they have bundles that are starting at $199. So definitely jump on these as soon as they pop, as soon as they're ready. Shadow of the Colossus, an amazing game. God of War, a phenomenal game. Horizon Zero Dawn, a great game. So, dang, man, Sony is just, God, dog, I have to say, man, I think me personally, my own personal opinion, I think this is the best generation Sony has had. This generation harkens me back to the PlayStation 2 era, where they had so many exclusives, so many AAA exclusives that were just jumping off the shelves and doing amazing. God of War has already sold 5 million copies. 5 million. So they are doing amazingly well, and I just hope that Microsoft is paying some god doggone attention. But anyway, I'm not going to go off on a tangent. Let's move on to the next story. Now, if any of you are fans of Avalanche Studios and have been wondering what the team has been working on since the Hunter Call of the Wild, which was their last game that came out, February of 2017. I think it was a hunting game. You were hunting deer and black bears in the mountains and whatnot. But anyway, since then, they have a new IP. They've actually been working on a new IP that's entitled Generation Zero, which looks like it's going to be a first-person shooter that's actually set in the 1980s. And the focus on machines taking over a countryside. Now, as far as the location goes, it's going to be set in Sweden. I don't think I've ever played a game that's based in Sweden. That should be very interesting. Now, the game is set to release in 2019, so hopefully we'll see some more of this game at E3. Avalanche, the last game that I heard that was great, very criminally underrated. I can't say that I played it specifically, but I heard that Mad Max was an amazing game for what it was. Criminally underrated, needed to have more praise, and that game has been on sale many times. Matter of fact, last time I checked, I believe it's in Game Pass. So, if any of you guys are not familiar with Avalanche's work, definitely pick up Mad Max. You can get it for the very, very low price of, my goodness, you can get it pre-owned for like $12 at this point. But, yeah, for any of you guys that are fans of this studio, be on the lookout for this game. It looks very interesting. It has somewhat of a Terminator-esque feel to it. If you go and watch the trailer on YouTube, you'll definitely get what I'm saying with the music and, you know, the way things look, the atmosphere and all. But anyway, moving on from there. Now, this next story. Now, this is one of the bigger ones that I'm a little excited about. Now, this story has me pumped up. Now, that's if it is in fact true. Now, as always, you guys know this, as always, I want you to take this rumor with a mustard seed of truth. Now, there is a source that goes by the name 4chan Post. He spells it with the number 4, Chan, C-H-A-N, Post, who has been very solid when it comes to E3 rumors actually turning out to be true. So, This situation, this newest rumor, this all started with a leaked Superman poster, which looks like it's a promotional, material, some kind of promotional material that they're using. But where things get interesting, and I mean, it does get very interesting, is in the subtitle the poster reads. Now the subtitle is Superman, then it says World's Finest. Now, if you're not a big DC fan, and I have to say, I'm not the biggest DC fan, but if you are not, like myself, you may say, what makes this so interesting? What makes World's Finest so interesting? Well, World's Finest is the tag team monkey used to describe Batman and Superman when they work together, and has been the title for quite a few comic book issues. But another interesting thing 4chan Post said is there are other DC characters involved, and that the game is single player. And that the game will be revealed. Now this is crazy. Now, once again, all rumor. So if this doesn't happen, don't come trying to shoot me down in my credibility, god dog it. Now, this guy says that the game will be revealed at Microsoft's E3 conference, and that Brainiac is the main villain. And to just add a little bit of a cherry on top of the cake of the cupcake, just a little cherry, the game is being developed by Rocksteady. Holy cow, man. I'm gonna tell you something now. This guy 4chan Post, if this doesn't come true and you're as excited as I am, don't come for me, go for that guy, okay? This would be absolutely remarkable. Everybody, including myself, has said time and time again, if anybody can get a Superman game right, it would be Rocksteady. How amazing would it be? Now, I don't know how the mechanics would work. I don't know what the storyline would be. I don't know how many DC characters would be in the game, but how amazing would it be knowing the talent level that Rocksteady brings to their games? Even though, I have to say this before I go any further, even though Arkham Knight had its fair set of problems with the Batmobile, I was not the biggest fan of that feature in the game. It is still, and I stand by this 100%, it is still the best superhero game I have ever played to date. Some people may not agree. I'm sure a ton of you won't. But if you played Arkham Knight from start to finish and you followed that story, the graphics, the gameplay, the combat, you have to say that game was amazing. Yeah, it had its set of problems. But anyway, moving on to more of the point. How amazing would it be that Superman, at certain times, he's doing certain missions and he has to call Batman up on the doggone Batman spotlight in the air and say, look, man, look, we got to figure something out. Okay. We got to do something. I don't know, maybe like a GTA-esque type style gameplay, GTA 5. I don't know how it would work. But the negative side of me, I gotta bring this up, man. The negative side of me, because this seems really, in my opinion, too good to be true. If it is true, it's gonna be phenomenal. If not, be a little sad, but not really, because it's not officially something that's happening. It's still in the rumorville. But my thing is this, man. I lost my whole train of thought. Anyway, it's gonna be, if it is gonna be at E3, it's gonna be amazing. It's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And, Rocksteady is definitely the developer that I think that could really bring this vision to life. Imagining seeing Superman doing one thing, Batman doing another. And the more interesting thing about this is that the guy's saying it's single player. Which is like, wow, how could that really work? Oh, what I was saying, I just remembered my train of thought. The negative side of me says, what if this promotion and all of these posters that are being shown is a sequel for doggone Batman and motherfucking Superman to do another movie? I'm gonna be so doggone sad and hurt, man, if that's what it turns out to be. But, only time will tell. We're literally 3 days away from Microsoft's conference. And hopefully this is true. This would be a great thing if Microsoft could get this. I definitely don't think, even if it does show up on Microsoft's stage, that it will be by any means an exclusive. I do not think that's going to be the case, but it would be fantastic to see it on their stage. So moving on from there, god dang, I beat that up. Jeez me, Christmas. Moving on to the next story. Now, Walking Dead fans, the fourth and final installment of the Telltale Games story about Clementine will release on August 14th on PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. Now, one cool change that I think is, that I think people will be able to, I don't know, maybe appreciate a little bit. I know I will. But one of the changes that they're making with this title is an over-the-shoulder camera perspective, giving gamers, quote unquote, greater freedom to explore detailed environments. Also, Telltale has said scenes, well, quote unquote, scenes with unscripted combat. So it looks like they're going to be going off the cuff. This stuff is going to be happening for real in real time, unscripted events. And that's another thing that they're touting. And they're also saying it's going to feature a new visual style that supports 4K resolution and HDR monitors. So we'll see how this all comes out. Me, myself, I haven't been playing The Walking Dead. I haven't played since maybe the first or second episode of season 1. Wasn't really my kind of game, but everybody continues to talk about this franchise. So more people talking about it than not have to be on to something. You know, it has to be at least almost as good as people say it is. So, I mean, I might pick this up once all of them are done and I can just go through the whole thing start to finish. Cause that's my problem. I don't like episodic games. It's not my thing. When the only episodic game I've ever played through was The Wolf Among Us. And I mean, I loved that game. That game was excellent. But the reason why I did it was because it was finished. I'm not a fan of waiting 3 and 4 months for the next one to come out. I know that Telltale has gotten better with that, but it's not really my thing. So if I jump into it, it'll be after this season ends. But we'll see. But for, you people that are interested, that love this franchise, give it a go. It'll be out August 14th. Moving on now, if you're still playing, and I know this is a big if you're still playing Battlefront 2 and are looking for more content, on June 12th, EA will introduce a new map, a mode, and vehicles. Now, this new content will be based on Solo, a Star Wars story, based on, of course, the origin story and early life of Han Solo. So if you guys are still playing, go ahead, rock that out and make things beautiful. Game is beautiful, by the way. Man, it's a nice looking game. But moving on to some more news. Now this is frustrating. Into some frustrating news. It looks like, according to a report from Kotaku, CrackDown 3 has been delayed to 2019. Now, of course, I want to say this one more time. This is according to Kotaku. Microsoft hasn't come out and confirmed this officially, but for now, that is the rumor. This guy over at Kotaku says that he has close ties with the development team, at least 1 or 2 people on the development team, and they're telling him that, nah, man, it's not going to make it out this year. We're going to have to bring it out in 2019. Now, how do I feel about this? Matter of fact, I would love to know how you guys feel about it. Call in, email, do what you do. But for me personally, the downward spiral. And I know some people will say that is dramatic. Come on, Kiaun. Microsoft isn't spiraling out of control. But you have to say, if you are a big fan of the Xbox brand like myself, you have to agree that there is at least a problem. It's a problem on the Xbox side. When you have games that come out like Sea of Thieves, which had a complete lack of content, a complete lack job of content when it first released, and it took about, mainly 2 months to get some more content, and people weren't even really feeling the new content. They were like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not the greatest thing ever. It'll hold me over, but it's not something that I can see myself playing long term. When you have things like that happening, when you have State of Decay coming out in the state, no pun intended, that it's in, that is a problem. I understand that the game may not be as buggy as the report said it was. They did a patch. It fixed some things, but my goodness, these are not of that triple A quality. I understand that Sea of Thieves, it looks beautiful. It's a great looking game. Would I consider it a triple A game? I just can't see it. No. Just because the game has beautiful water It does not mean that it's a AAA title. No, 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 no. Microsoft, you have been dropping the ball with these two exclusives. They have been mediocre at best. I believe they're at like a 67 and a 69 on Metacritic. Now, I know Metacritic doesn't necessarily, mean that that's how everybody feels just because that's the score. Some people actually enjoyed these games. I'm not taking that away from those people that do, but you have to admit it's a problem. It's a situation that Microsoft needs to get a hold of. So when they say that CrackDown is being delayed possibly into 2019, once again, according to Kotaku, not Microsoft, I scratch my head. And the first thing I feel, I have to be honest, the first thing I feel is anger. Because I'm saying to myself, look, you guys have been working on this or showed this off since 2014. 2014. That means that for you guys to have gotten it to the state where you could show it off, you had to be working on it at least a year and a half, 2 years prior to showing it off. And now all of a sudden we're 4 years later and you guys still haven't delivered on the game. The thing is, Microsoft, I think they should delay it. If it's not up to snuff, if it's not what they really want it to be, and word is that Phil Spencer really wants to make this a staple in the Xbox brand. They want it to be up there with the Halos, the Gears, and the freaking Forzas. I get so tired of saying those three games because god dang, that is just in itself a horrible god doggone image of a console. All you got is three exclusives, three doggone exclusives of any quality. And Halo is on the daggone slide right now. Halo 5 didn't go over too well, buddy, the last time I checked. So it seems like that, you guys really need to get it together. Now, Phil, if he has to say, look, we got to just run this thing back into the oven, let it burn a little bit more, let you guys go ahead and get your hands on it, and putting more money into it, then, whatever. We've waited this long. There's plenty of other games that are coming out, but man, this is not excusable. It's really not excusable. When you look over, I'm looking at it from the perspective of a person that only owns an Xbox. Okay? You only own an Xbox One. It's all you can afford at the moment. I have to say, I would be completely heated. I would be smoking right now. If I'm looking over and seeing what Sony is doing for their consumers, seeing the games and the quality of games that they're bringing out on their side, I would be giving Microsoft a big side eye. Like, man, you done really rubbed me the wrong god doggone way looking at what the competition is doing over there. So yeah, Microsoft, get it together, man. God darn. And I got a question for y'all about them, matter of fact. But let's go ahead and get into this last story for this week. Now, this was actually just revealed. Maybe an hour ago or so. Hitman 2 has been announced and it will release on November 13th. Now, this will be a direct sequel to Hitman, but unlike the previous title, which featured constant updates to the story, the sequel will reveal the full story out the gate. However, it'll still have DLC released over time that'll cover different places you can go to, locations. So that is really cool. Actually, go ahead. I know on the Xbox side, Xbox One, you can go on there and download the first episode for free. Hitman. It's a beautiful looking game, man. Definitely check it out. And, hopefully you guys will maybe take another chance and check out Hitman 2. But that is it this week for the gaming news, man. Told you it wasn't going to be too much. Not too much here. But you know what? Since we are in E3 week mode, I think we should take a flashback to an E3, a previous one. So we're going to play that clip and we will be right back after this. Stay tuned, guys.
If you can guess what the title is going to be by the way this game will actually start. As a matter of fact, this screen also brings back memories for me as well. I'm sure it does for some of you, and I'm sure you're dating yourself by saying that you remember. I don't know if you remember this particular opening. This was actually on the original PlayStation game as well when it was loading the game. Of course, I'm not a very good player even there. Game is powered by Namco. It's Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer. Remember that one? All right, so let me go right ahead, get right into the game. Oh, this brings back memories. I don't know if it's just me, but here we go. Whoops.
And welcome back, game players. Welcome back, God Dog. We are in the final section of the podcast, and like I said, since this is pre-E3 week and you guys heard the clip, oh, what a horrible announcement. I know you guys heard the chirping in the background. I got to shout out IGN for that clip, God dog it. That was definitely from them. So shout out to IGN for the clip. But I want to ask you guys a quick question. Since this is E3, we are on the cusp of quote unquote gaming greatness. This is about to happen. I want to know, in your personal opinion, what was the worst E3 announcement? What was the worst one? I need to know, because for me, this Ridge Racer situation for the PSP, I was not moved whatsoever at all. Now, I want to put in there the caveat, it could be any of the E3 announcements. I'm going to tell you, one of my all-time worst announcements that I heard at an E3 conference was from Ubisoft when they were trying to sell that broke down laser tag game where they had the guys running through the crowd, women jumping up out of seats, shooting these fake old phantom guns and whatnot, thinking that was a good idea. I don't know who on the Ubisoft team thought that was a remarkable idea. Shame on you. So I want to know, in your opinion, what was the worst E3 announcement? With that being said, please leave your feedback at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com, or you can call it in at 443-216-9934. Guys, get ready because we are about to gear up. And I will be on for each and every one of the E3 conferences. I took off from work, God dog it, so I could cover this stuff. So I am ready. This is going to be the weekend of all gaming weekends, hopefully, because you got EA going up on Saturday and you got Microsoft going up on Sunday, as well as I believe that Bethesda is going on Sunday as well. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it's going to be a fun-filled gaming weekend as well as a fun-filled gaming week. So with that being said, guys, once again, I want to shout out Mr. Cody Clark for, always reaching out. Shout out to Aaron from the Game Enthuse crew. Shout out to Mike J. Shout out to Goose. Shout out to everybody. Renee for supporting me. Shout out to everybody, who's always been supporting me, man. Chad Harper, my man over there. I truly appreciate all of the support that you guys give. And, like I say, go ahead over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I have some plays of God of War up there, as well as Fist of the North Star, which was another game I played, which was awesome. Incredible game, God dog it. Another win for the Sony camp for this year. But E3, baby, expect to hear a lot from me in the upcoming days. So with that being said, remember this before we go. It is not about the consoles, people. It is about the games. So with that being said, again, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.